Happy Monday, everybody. One more week. And then the rookies arrive next Tuesday. And this upcoming Monday, the 17th, I will be announcing the winner of the tickets. But let's talk about some linebackers. What is up, Finn fans? Yes, we're talking linebackers today in the camp battle positions. Wednesday will be corners, and then Friday will be safeties, and then we're done. Because then the rookies arrive, and then the vets arrive, and then we're into training camp mode. And then once July's over, that's it until March, February, March. We get football every month until February/March. We're almost there. Almost there. Preseason game. Falcons, Dolphins at Miami. August 11th will be the first preseason game. I'm very excited. And I have tickets to give away for that. So again, if you want to sign up, link is in the description. Sign up. You have till Friday. I'm cutting off the sign up on Friday. And then Monday I will announce the winners. So link in the description. Go sign up. You just got to give me your name and your email, and you got to be subscribed. And then you have a chance to win 2 tickets. 3 people get a chance to win 2 tickets to that preseason game. So let's jump into this. We were talking linebackers. Now there are outside linebackers and middle linebackers, but the Miami Dolphins just essentially list them as linebackers, and there are 11. 13. Math is a thing. There's 13 linebackers, 7 outside linebackers, and 6 middle linebackers. I'm going to run down the list right now. You got Mitchell Agood, Jerome Baker, Bradley Chubb, Cameron Good, David Long Jr., Aubrey Miller, Garrett Nelson, Jalen Phillips, Malik Reed, Duke Riley, Channing Tindall, Andrew Van Ginkel, and Zeke Vandenberg. Those are our linebackers. Now, I'm going to talk about them briefly, and then I'm going to tell you kind of where the competition is and kind of where there's no depth. So, we got Mitchell Agood, outside linebacker, undrafted free agent out of Miami. He got a $25,000 guaranteed contract. Now, does that mean he's going to definitely make the roster? Not necessarily, especially when it comes to outside linebackers. The Dolphins have some pretty good outside linebackers, so it's going to be hard to make the roster in that position. Then next we have Jerome Baker, been with the Dolphins for a hot minute. Now this might be Jerome Baker's last year with the Miami Dolphins. If they release him next year, they can save $9.9 million. But Jerome Baker, he didn't break 100 tackles this year. I think he did last year. He had 76 tackles, which was 40th in the NFL among linebackers. But he had 45 stops in the run game, which was 29th ranked in linebackers. But again, if he doesn't continue to produce, I think this is his last. Next year will be his last year on his contract. He signed a 3-year contract extension. The Dolphins can release him and save $9.9 million, or they can do a post-June 1st and save an extra 2. But they'll probably just release him. Then we have Bradley Chubb, the outside linebacker that we traded for against the Denver Broncos at the trade deadline. He came over, he didn't do much. I honestly think that the reason he didn't do much and we didn't get, our money's worth out of him is trading that 1st and 4th, because we don't have a 4th this year because of that, is because I honestly think, and we'll see if I'm right or wrong this season, I think it had to do with Boyer's defense, and I think he's played very well under Vic Fangio's defense, and Vic Fangio knows how to use Bradley Chubb, so I think that is going to be something that I'm really looking forward to. Then you have Cameron Good, another outside linebacker. He was our 7th round pick. I think him and Skylar Thompson were our 7th round picks 2 years ago. That's my thoughts on that. We'll get to him. David Long Jr., our free agent signing from the Tennessee Titans. He had 65 tackles last year, 49th, but again, he didn't play full season. 40 stops, which was tied for 36. This guy can get to the quarterback/running back. I really like this signing. I think he's going to be a dynamic piece at that middle linebacker position. Then we have Aubrey Miller, outside linebacker, who is an undrafted free agent out of Jackson State. He got a $110,000 guaranteed contract. kind of seems like he might be that guy who might make the roster or practice squad. I'm hearing good things from Aubrey Miller so far in OTAs and minicamp. We'll see if that transfers into training camp. Then we have Garrett Nelson, a middle linebacker, undrafted free agent out of Nebraska. He only got about $85,000 guaranteed on his contract. Jalen Phillips, first round pick a few years ago, outside linebacker. He had 42 tackles, which was tied for fourth among edge rushers, because that's where he's ranked when you look at statistics. 36 stops, which was tied for ninth, and 70 pressures, which was tied for sixth, and he had 7.5 sacks. He needs to get a little bit better on that sack total, but I honestly think now with Vic Fangio, they're not going to take him off the field. They're not going to drop him back into coverage, and they're going to use him in the right situations. I can see that sack total going up. I can see the tackles, stops, and pressures also going up. But he was fourth, ninth, and sixth in those respective categories. Top 10 in tackles, stops, and pressure. Pretty good to me. Then we got Malik Reed, a guy we picked up in free agency, outside linebacker. Again, another guy who is comfortable and understands Vic Fangio's defense. He played with him with Denver before he went to the Steelers. Duke Riley, a middle linebacker we brought back. I think this is his third year with us now. More of a depth but definitely good on special teams. We have Channing Tindall, our first pick 2 years ago, third rounder. Middle linebacker, I'll get to him. Andrew Van Ginkel, brought him back. I was very happy we brought him back. That man blocks punts. That man gets sack fumbles. That man, he is just a beast on the outside linebacker, pass rush scheme. And then we have Zeke Vanderberg, middle linebacker, undrafted free agent out of Illinois State. He had 14 sacks and 2 forced fumbles in 2022, and he got at Illinois State, and he got a $22,000 guaranteed contract from the Dolphins. Again, that money, you kind of look at it and say, hey, it's not guaranteed you're going to make it. So looking at this linebacker position, and again, you look at it and, the way the Dolphins run their defense, it's that outside linebacker, middle linebacker, but the outside linebackers kind of do play defensive end in some instances, especially with this Vic Fangio defense. Now, when I'm looking at the camp battle, obviously you have like Mitchell Agood, you have Cameron Good, you have Zeke Vanderberg, you have Garrett Nelson, you have Aubrey Miller Jr. Those are guys that are going to be fighting, even Cameron Good, I don't know if I said his name, going to be fighting to make the roster, right? Because with the outside linebackers, you are trying to get ahead of, or you're trying to make the roster over guys, you got Jalen Phillips and Bradley Chubb, your starting outside linebackers, weak side, strong side, and their backups are Andrew Van Ginkel and Malik Reed. Now, we just brought Malik Reed in, and again, like I said, very comfortable with Vic Fangio's defense, ran it opposite of Bradley Chubb, and very, Bradley Chubb and him were very successful playing opposite each other. And like I said, Andrew Van Ginkel is Andrew Van Ginkel, and that man is constantly getting pressure and doing his thing like a chicken wing. So you have Cameron Good, Mitchell Agood, and Aubrey Miller, your three outside linebackers that are competing for somewhat of a roster spot. Now, I don't know if Cameron Good's going to make it again, a 7th round pick. That wasn't Mike McDaniel's pick. I'm trying to remember. I think he was Mike McDaniel's pick. And then Mitchell Agood and Aubrey Miller Jr., who essentially, undrafted free agents. And I'm surprised because they're moving them around, right? So some of these undrafted free agents I'm naming, you were probably saying, no, technically they're this or technically they're that. In Vic Fangio's defense, they're going to be moving around. Like Garrett Nelson, Zeke Vanderberg, 14 sacks, 2 forced fumbles in 2022, but they have him listed as a middle linebacker behind David Long Jr. and Channing Tindall. But his stats kind of say more outside linebacker. So again, there might be that rotation, but you're looking at those undrafted free agents and Cameron Good as guys who are competing to make the roster. That's your competition. But then also, I like our our outside linebackers. I think there are 4 guys in the rotation I'm very happy with. I was happy they brought in Malik Reed. I saw what he did in Vic Fangio's defense, and like I said, I saw what he did opposite Bradley Chubb. I'm happy with that. It's the middle linebackers that make me nervous, right? David Long Jr., when he's healthy, he's on. But again, it's that when he's healthy. And then you have Jerome Baker, who's Jerome Baker, right? You blitz him, he's going to get a ton of pressure on the opposing quarterback. He has a hard time getting off of blocks. Not too great in coverage, but he's not bad in coverage. And then behind him, you have Channing Tindall, who, from my understanding, had a hard time with the defensive playbook last year. Now, again, is that Boyer or is that Tindall? We'll see if he, what he does with, Vic Fangio's defense. You got Duke Riley, who is good depth, right? I don't know if I would necessarily be comfortable if he got put in there in the starting, position. I did like a Landon Roberts, but again, a Landon Roberts was that thumper. He was that run-stopping linebacker, horrible on pass protection. You look at these guys, Channing Tindall and Duke Riley, and then behind them, from this makeshift depth chart, you got Zeke Vanderberg and Garrett Nelson. I look at this middle linebacker core, besides David Long Jr., who, is he healthy? Can he stay healthy? And Jerome Baker, and it's just like, they need to add a middle linebacker. And there are some middle linebackers that are still out there. There's some potential. Anthony Barr. There are guys like Quan Alexander, Zach Cunningham even. Now, Rashawn Evans, my apologies, butchered his name. There's still guys out there that you can possibly go and get. And then there's even like Reuben Foster, who's still out there, right? He got drafted in 2017. He was their second first-round pick, the 49ers. Knows the Vic Fangio defense. His agent even tried to hint that he's trying to get him in to try out with the Dolphins. So there are options for free agent linebackers that are out there. There's about 3 out there. And Quan Alexander, Reuben Foster. I don't know if I'd really go after Anthony Barr. But there are still linebackers out there that you can bring in for depth. And there's Akeem Hicks at the defensive tackle spot. You bring in those depths, and all of a sudden I start feeling better. And then you can do your thing. Again, and also if you extend, and I say this till my head falls off, you extend the guys that need to be extended, you get even more cap space to move on with more things. But the only the only thing I'm looking at when I look at the defense, the linebacker core, is just that middle linebacker spot. Other than that, I think the Dolphins are pretty stacked at outside linebacker. And again, these guys that are competing for a job are going to have to special teams or maybe make the practice squad. Because that outside linebacker spot is going to be hard to break through when we're deep, 2 spots. The second stringers on the outside linebacker spot could be potential starters for other teams in Andrew Van Ginkel and Malik Reed. So the middle linebacker makes me nervous. Outside linebacker I'm very happy with. But comment below. Let me know what you think. What's your thoughts on the linebacking core? What's your thoughts on the outside linebackers? And what's your thoughts on the middle linebackers? Do you agree with me that we should add, at least one more veteran middle linebacker just for more, rotational continuity? Same the way I feel about the defensive tackles. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. And I will see you tomorrow. I got another video. And like I said, Wednesday we're doing corners, which I think is incredibly deep. And then Thursday, I got another video. And then Friday, we're going to wrap it up with safeties. Then camp's going to start. So we're almost there. But like usual, stay classy. Fins up.